Finally. Finally. I've been tied up. They tied me up. How would you like to have hands that couldn't go further than this? That's all they would go, my hands. They're stuck in my pants. How would you like to have ears that were hobbled over like this? Or maybe these can be elephant walking. What's going on, guys? Gotta say hello to myself. Hello, myself. How you doing? You're not smoking. How come? Because I'm thirsty right now. How do they keep this water up higher? Don't you notice this water in here is lower than this water? You don't think it's gauged by something? Like this is automatic? Right? 1 for 1. 1 bowl for 1 container. 1 that holds, 2 that holds, but 1 is on the emptying side. 1 is a flat for a stand, the other is a spout to spill. What are we doing? I found a ton of numbers today. In fact, I found on somebody's coat 2 hands and a snowflake all around it. And the 2 hands and the snowflake, it didn't look like a snowflake in 2 hands. It now looked like the wolf. Like I'm so sure if I would be, I'm talking about my position, with people that know everything, or most of something, mostly everything that I don't know, I can look and say, hey, let's do it. Can we do it? Not, let's not. Can we do it? I'm there because they want me there to say, let's do this. They're going to say, okay. Or when you're ready, boys, or they're just going to turn around to me and they're going to say, well, what do you think, Ronald? You see anything? And I go, sure. There's a trick to everything, right? But yet, when you turn it inside, you can still seem to pull back the rope without the rope moving. I mean, it's a fish's tail. It's just like the 12 tribes. It's just like the 12 disciples. 4 fishermen in the disciples, and they're all telling the truth? I don't think so. It doesn't work that way in this world. You have 2 gorilla men. Now, 1 means nothing. 1 would only be unique and against. But when you have 2, you usually have a group within the fishermen. The guerrilla warfare, I'm talking about Judas Iracas. Like if I was to bring someone back today from the past, that's who I would bring. He's the only guy I would bring from the past. I think the guy who I never trusted to begin with, from all the disciples, is the only guy I seem to believe, but I've read nothing of his. I need not always read, which reminds me of something. And I don't like to get into there, so we won't go to what I was thinking. I was thinking about numbers. When they're drawn fat like this, the design inside, the 2, the 5, what the 8 does, what the 7 does, what the 2 does, what the 1 does, what the 3 does, what the M does, what the N does, because everything at the end does something. Exo, dus, X and O, dus is us. We are the X and O. We are the bull, we are the ram. Mars backwards says RAM, and now they put RAM DUS inside our computer system. FED is the center of everything, the federation in control. Which way do you want to go? Pick a leaf. The minute you pick one leaf, I have but no choice. The minute you make a choice, I have no choice. You put it here, I put it here. You put it here, I put it here. You put it here, I put it here. I have no choice. It's automatic. It's the matrix. The one thing about the matrix to understand is this is 2, this is 4. Well, you're asking me, why are you all over the place? I just got home from work. I'm so excited. Hi, Ronnie. Putting more information up on the Explorer star in the sky. Yeah, the real Explorer. That element of the blood pressure, the high and the low, the pumping of our heart to just get that energy and the flow. Just like the pistons in your car, pump, 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 your thought goes back into the star. And at the same time, the vibration goes back into the ground. Only you can know what you think. Only the vibrations that can be properly read have to be picked up with your bodily functions. That's why all these machines they're creating to stick your hand in, and now you can see on the computer with all these dots where your hand is. That's why this is coming into effect. This is full takeover. 456 on your telephone is actually 454 communication. It's it of it. That's what it equals to. 4 by 4, and 4 and 4 is 9 and 20. 29, 29, equaling the 58. If you take a cube inside the house of 36, the 58 will show up on the 1, and the numbers that will show up there is 1, 10, 19, and 28. You completed the 4 squares with these numbers. So you have 4 squares, but in some numbers it says 28. That's 2 numbers. 8 and 2 is 10. 1 plus 0. Does a 0 get counted, and in which way? What it means, 666, in many ways. What 666 means in many ways is the soul communication of the spirit. One making move the other, while the other making move the one. Because the spirit may know it all, but if the soul asks no questions and pays no attention, how can the soul know? Because one of them is always pushing on the other one. And if this one's not pushing, the one on the inside from the front rail is now rocking the inside of the railway, which is very funny because one of the ways it rocks, it could be a pin movement. Okay, now we'll keep switching subjects, don't worry. Here's the pin movement that moves the day of time. Let me see if I can do this properly. I never could, not an artist. Here it is. This is what happens. This is the day of time. So the day of time, how can I do this? The day of time is turning, and it's turning, and it's turning, and it's turning, well, it's not supposed to move, but it comes out of the spot because it moved it up to this, and it turns around and around, and then it. I wish I can show you that this one keeps turning, 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 and makes one complete movement. But when it makes this complete movement, it's a 45-degree spread. I don't know how you call that angle. Okay, I call it the 135, or the level of the earth between 180 and the other side is 135. So there's a 45 difference right there in between. So we are one triangle, okay, whichever what size it is, put inside the world that's a square, living like a figure 8, and our timer is 2 triangles that balance on each other that look like the sigma in Greek, the letter M in English, would also represents the numbers 4, 5, and 6. Now, how the screw all can I explain this to everybody? Take out my piece of paper after I did it 100 times. But you know why I really don't want to take it out again? It's because every time I redo it, I always find something new. So when I speak, last year I couldn't speak like this. Even though I'm not saying very much, I couldn't speak like this at all. Maybe because I didn't try or didn't believe, but because I see so many ideas inside the numbers alongside the words and games people play, that it just comes so much easier to speak about anything. What do you want to know? The dinosaurs 1,000,000 years ago? Dino. Well, dynamite, Dino, Fred, and Flintstone, black spots, purple dinosaur. There's 2 kinds of dinosaurs. This color and purple, like Barney, that 25 years later, Barney happened to come out. Hey, Barney! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Talking about the sperm. Once I ate a fish alive. What, you don't think Barney was sending messages? But why? He ate a fish alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then what did he do next? I got another Barney song now. Oh my God, we're not going past 10 minutes. But now I got Barney. You can go to Hogan's Heroes. You can go to Jed Clampett. You can go to Gilligan's Islands. You can go to Three's Company, Eight's Enough, Partridge Family. You can go down to the Brady Bunch, I Dream of Jeannie. You can also go down to Bewitched, Fred Flintstone, Bugs Bunny, Richie Rich, comics, Marvel Comics, the X-Men, the Hulk that came out in the recent years of why? Talking about the green, and when you mix the yellow with the blue, you get more of a green, and when you mix white with red, you get more of a pink. If you add up the word count and letter count for red and the number 1, it equals to a total of 61, one spirit of the 6th man. So we know right away 1 and red went together, so now we're down by the horses. Because in thoroughbred and harness racing, both types of horses are number 1 red, number 1 red. And when they run more than 2 in the race, they'll put one A, B, and the other one they'll put X. They won't run 4. I've never seen them run 4. They probably did. But they probably ran with a number in the pact. Or whatever it is. I don't want to make up a dream. I'm going to forget everything I said very soon. Not because I want to, because I keep on thinking. And I can't memorize everything I'm saying while I'm thinking, while I'm getting the new information, keeping the speed up of my speech. You're supposed to get interesting in here? God damn it. This is a TV show. This is 25 minutes of whatever I can think of on the top of my head. Oh, baby. Oh, what I can think of on the top of my head. Let's take off these glasses and get these on. Let's rock and roll. Where is she? She's got to be somewhere. You know what? I've just been notified that one of the television shows I did not mention was All in the Family, the Jeffersons and the Jetsons. We didn't talk about Hercules. And half a horse. If I had half a horse, half a body, I'd probably be an Arabian prince. Oh God, look what I have. Lunchtime. First we start off with flat peas. Let me see if they're okay. We got to test it on camera. Something happens to me. This is going to be on the file inside Explorer in my star. But what happens to my star about what? When I die? Well, I'm going to take it down. I'm going to wear it right over here. Don't you know what happens when you die? In the world of Mr. Tack Fans, when you die, the star comes back over here, and it's out of the sky, and it's your memory right here in your heart. Reboot. Part of the glitch system. It comes right back to my glitch. Don't you know what Enzo has over here? It's in the star, and it's in your mind, and it's your business, and you put your stars away. No one has to see your stars and stripes, but when you end this world, you're wearing it right on your heart. Right away. So if somebody was asking, is that possible? Of course it is. We have to show who we are right away. They look at us, they say, he's a sly guy. And the sly guy is either going to be more sly and get caught because everybody's aware now. And now you're saying, well, that's not fair. Well, the sly guy doesn't have to be sly. Or he can be sly, but a very nice sly guy, and he'll just show the strong intelligence. So we got these peas over here. Reboot! Where's Bob? Hey, is Bob bobbing for apples? He's wearing red, Bob. Brisket's wearing red, and Bob is blue. He's the electronic blue runner of the Matrix to mend and defend. And Enzo wants to be just like him, and I want to be friends with Enzo because I love Enzo. What a good guy he turned into. You know what they call Enzo now? Matrix. They said Bob, but this one they call Matrix. One eye that spins, the other eye that sees. One of them is always working. He's got 2 eyes now. No more one eye in the back of the head. 2 eyes can now one eye move to the back of the head and work while this other eye is doing something else. Almost like the dogs. Brisket. Red dog. Like I said, bobbing for apples. One of the reasons I think everybody's pissed off about apples is because as cruel as they were to the apple in this world for the longest time, nobody can actually crack the nut. I mean the understanding of the apple. What's that? My nut's already been cracked? No, she hasn't been with me yet today. Oh, then I'm nuts and I'm already cracked. Well, that's all right. When you crack your egg, and it opens up a little larger, there's more room for thought. Maybe I'll grow horns and antlers, and then I'll be able to remember everything. It'll just go right into my antler. Any TV shows I left out? How about Richie Rich? 1970, Richie Rich. He had a maid. We're black and white like most maids, okay? Her name was Irona. Well, of course, 9, I and R are together. It's 9 and 18, it's 27, it's 3 by 3 by 3, a pig's pregnancy. It's the I robot, is the pig's pregnancy, the connection of the 3 worlds of 8, 8, and 8. Now shit, now everybody's probably going to be mixed up with the world of 7 and the world of 7 when 7 is there and 13 is there, but it all depends which world you're talking about. Because if we go down to Monopoly, the straight line from the far left inside the corner, you see it's pretty difficult to understand that. We're only playing Monopoly. You go to visiting jail. Either you put the man on the visiting jail spot, or you put him in the back corner. In the back corner, running all the way around the board, okay, it's 13 per position. 13 by 13 ends up to be 169. 169, you mean we reverse that? Oh, that's cool. Or, if you count 13 to each corner, with obviously only 9 properties in between, you would end up getting 13 and 9, 22. Or around the board, you end up with 48. 48 one way, in the jail, 40. We're running the game of 40, not the jail of the game of 48. And that's the size of a pallet. And a pallet has either 1 or 2 ways to go in, but one way is longer than the other way. Upon which way do we live? We're the 48 up and the 40 across, standing, but the world goes around on this angle. Where were we? 16 minutes? We're going to end this soon. These are scallops. I wait till they defrost, and then I eat them. I got a couple other things. I've got salmon and salmon. One is with shrimp, cheese, and vegetables, and the other one's got coconut. What? I can't hear you. Coconut? Oh, no, I'm not talking about myself. I don't have to be always coconut for. Well, now that you told me so much about coconut, I'm going to start to think about the word. Then I'm going to think of who I am and find the difference between the coconut of the coconut and the coconut who I could be, who I've been, who I'm trying not to be, who I am trying to be if I knew what the difference was in the reality of the truth of what it means to be a coconut. As this guy, he's got his own milk. The only male I ever knew that had milk is down in the coconut. What else is in here? Beans. Green. I'm into green. I don't want to go too close to yellow. Green seems to me the Martian color is the right color. We have a little cocoa. Dark chocolate. Cocoa. Coconut. Cocoa. Coconut. Hold on a second. Drop the rest of my food on the floor. Oh, yes. My green friend. I can't help it, but he's got yellow in there. Okay? Where is the green man? I want to understand something about green. When you turn on Reboot, okay, and you see the red and the yellow and the blue, and I think it's, what is the other color? And the dark blue, megabyte, and then the red, who's hexadecimal. You know, so you've got all these colors. Hexadecimal and Frisket are the same as the 3-ball and 4 of the wine and horses. What do I do with this avocado? Hey, avocado, what's going on? It seems like you got 1 ball and 1 neck. 1 point to this side, 1 point to this side. That's why it's a point, even if it's flat. To this side, to this side. There's always 2 around 1. In fact, to make the totality of it, there's always 8 around 1. 2 this way, always in pairs. Otherwise, there's straight lines and you only need 1. 1 around this way, 1 around this way, 2, 1 around this way, 3. But you can't do it on a sharp point. But you can do it on the round point. Because the sharp point makes everything come together and almost touch, leaving no space between the lines. So when you measure the Earth around this point is the way to do it. So what would you say? Which is the North Pole and which is the South Pole? And this one's easier. Hey, look! Look, everybody, we're on the beach. It's beautiful outside. Come on. Oh, look at that. It's coming to the night. It's so beautiful at night. And all of a sudden, for 3 more weeks, you're seeing the night on the inside. And on the 24th day, you start to see a glimmer of the moon, in which obviously it's part through a black hole that you see the beginning part of it. And it's all misty because it's drinking all the water and information in order for it to penetrate inside with the matrix of this world. God put his stamp on this world. Poof. Made the elements of this world as the air, because everybody has to live in it. He added his one part of himself poof, into this world. He went poof number 1, he went poof number 19, and he's into the world. 19 and 1, 20. Then he poofs himself of AH, which is the 8, heaven, 28, letters T and H, time heaven, the heaven we are, the ETH of the world, the electronic time heaven world. So now he's got 8, and he's got 1, because 8 is H, and H is pronounced A-C-H-E. Now take away the H, because it's usually silent, and all you're left with is the ace. And where does that ace go? My friends, 159. On my next cassette, I'm going to do something on pi. 159 is where the H goes. That makes a total of HO, or H2O, because now it's in 2 worlds. The minute you pass the 7, you are automatically in 2 worlds. Automatically in 2 worlds. When you are on 6, you are building the body in the other world. When you are on 5, you are delivering the elements, more or less the DNA. Why? 4 and 1 makes 5. And on the 4th one, in Monopoly, it's 10% of the mind. Well, why do I say 10% of the mind? And nobody wants to believe it. It has nothing to do with what you believe. This is a comic book. It speaks. Comes out of my voice. It's my voice, in fact. That's what I'm paid to do, to read off everything inside the world of another. So it's just part of the story. That's all. Something else just fell on the floor. Where am I next? Right, I was talking about pi. I'm going to do that in the next cassette. Usually I have nothing to say, but for some reason I have more to say today than any other day. And as it's going to be like this, we are going to end it this way. We cannot end it. E-N-D? Forget about the E-N-D. A-N-D. Forget about the A-N-D. What about the DNA? Ooh, pretty wild word. We got a big word that does a lot of things. DNA, is it dirt? I don't know. Is it sand? A-N-D. I don't know. What I do know is if I was first, ST equaling to 39 plus 1 equals 40, which is the game, plus 3 creation, which is the Baltic. Otherwise, it's dice to number 3 and get to, or 4 and get 10% of the brain, or number 5, which is part of Rubik's Cube of 4 and 5, which is next to Rubik's Cube together, as it is in the properties of Monopoly. And that's easy to figure out. You go from 0 to 40. Oh, how fast do you go to 0 to 40? Oh, now we're into cars. I was talking before how electrifying your heart was to the spirit angle. Angel and angle. You ever see orange? It says orange. Or in French is gold. Anyways, I can talk for 2 hours today. I did so much today, and I did nothing at all more than take a look and say, oh my God. So try and figure it out this way. If you really want it, let's end it this way. If you take the stop sign, extend the flat parts on it. Now take the mug and dub it and finish it, and extend the points to crisscross over each other. You will see the tic-tac-toe board come out of it. Okay? And what we have to do, because this is going to be the clock, you just have to make that mug and dub it really good. I don't know what I was looking for. Anyways, we're going to drop it. Even the elements! Oh my God! I have the will. Do I have the way to get cut? So I tuck it in, and I will. What? What will I do? I will. I-W-I. We. Why? Will. I will, or I would write my will and cut my tie. Or my scalp off, which is my tie. My scalp is my tie, losing the communication above, cutting it off because you're returning to the heavens. Anyways, thank you very much. Raphael, 7286. In the 25 minutes, non-interrupted. Not even a television show, but something to do with moving parts. There's a human being in front of you right now moving and babbling and trying to make sure that he doesn't stop to get caught in between words and lose that what he's saying, that the value of this entire cassette falls down to nil just because of his last 2 words he has spoken. Thank you for watching right to the end. This is Right to the End. END, second. ND, first. ST. STND. If I was the angel, I'd put an A. STAND, stand! Well, wait a second, what if I was third? Well, I'm in the creation world, but you know where I am in the creation world? In position number 9. Number 1 goes right into 9. This is the letter Aleph we're talking about, my friends. This is the letter Aleph. Look in the Jewish book, how it cuts the line of 159, and it tells you confusingly that it's the Aleph, and it should start from there, but I'm starting it from there, and maybe that's why it seems to work out for myself. 1, 5, and 9. Now, what was I talking about? I was talking about something. Wow, I always go to explain it, and then I lose my place. That's why I'd be good in a group. I don't know. We've got a good Rubik's Cube, why it's 54, why it's 27. How many Rubik's Cubes? Look at this. 4 Rubik's Cube, 27 cubes. Why? We're going to count the center as 1. Okay? If we count the center as 6, I'm not getting into that. Okay, I shouldn't have done. Should we stop? No, we're not going to stop. Otherwise, I might forget in the next cassette. Okay, Rubik's Cube. We go down to 26 plus the center, okay, is 1, plus it's got 6 arms. 1 and 6 is 7. It makes the 71 of God, the reverse 17 making 88. And at the same time, it totals 33, which is the command and the creation, because it's showing you all the directions it can turn. But then you must multiply it by 4. The reason you multiply it by the 4 is because you have to use 4 cubes, or you have to turn it 4 times. 4 by the 27 is 80, plus the 7 is 28, equals to 108, plus the separation of 3 cubes makes 111. 3 by 37 is 111, and leave it let be or let alone, it is the top of the Twin Tower roof. I could have stopped at 110, but I didn't want to do that. All I had to do is take 1 dot out of the center. You see the 1 dot in the center? It's only 1 dot in the center. But when everybody counts the 1 dot in the center, everybody's counting it as 1. But there's only 1 with many tentacles, and it works for all the worlds, because at the end, 1 runs everything. 1 runs everything because 1 is not what you think it is. 1 is 4. 1 is every angle you must be in the entirety of 360 degrees. So 1 is now more than 4, but the minimum it is in one of the worlds is the 4 corners. On both sides of the world, it's the 8 corners of the octagon. So she runs 8. 1 runs 8. So now, if everybody else was valued at 5, I have to give a higher value. And they do this in card counting. So now I'm going to give everything a value of 5. So if the 1 was 8, 8 times 5 equals 40. The 1 is now 40. Plus herself in position would make 45. And that's the 45-degree open angle you have between 12 and 130 in time. The angles of everything I talk about, if you would flip that angle upside down to where it fits in 5 or 4:30 and 7:30 at night, that would be the pregnancy. Why? Because I have to add in 3 more numbers to crunch them a little bit more together. Because this is a fixate. It's an expression. 4 balls, 3 strikes. It's an expression. It doesn't happen when you go to the plate. He didn't strike out. He popped out. So he had 1 ball and 1 strike, and now he's out. But in all actuality, at the same time, there were 3 pitches made. And they were all balls, because when you play baseball, you play with a ball. And when you catch a ball, you catch a ball. He could have caught it in his hand or in his mitt. But when you catch it in his mitt, the mitt's on his hand. I guess you're catching it in your hand. Well, now you'll be saying with his bare hands, because maybe the announcer's already picked up from this. So the guy, he swung, he swing, he swing. Well, usually where I'm from, when you say swing, you stink. And he missed. But what did he miss? Was he missing his wife? Is that why he couldn't keep his eye on the ball? Was he missing something in his heart? So the ball looked this big. But when everything's good in life, the balls look this big, because you're never afraid to miss. You're just going to take a swing up there and no one's going to laugh at you, no one's watching you, no one's grading you. In fact, they encourage you to miss at least 8 or 10 times before you can hit it. Because then you learn how to swing the bat. And at the end, now all the balls look bigger to you. That's why you got to be satisfied with a smaller pair, like a pair of deuces or a pair of fours. You got a pair of fours, they call them double Ds. Well, they're huge, because very so often than not, when the 4 is down, you always seem to pull a 2, 3, and 5. Don't tell me why, I don't know. But check it out yourself. Only because I now said it, even if it never happened before, or you didn't notice, or take part, now it's going to start happening. Because listeners, oh, that's a terribleness. Oh, you didn't want me to tell him that part? Of course I'm telling him. Just because Mr. Tackmans has said something, I usually don't do this, but it's just so funny how often I see coincidences. Now I'm going to just tell you, just like I said, if you ever see something that has 2 4s, or something that makes you think of 2 4s, something else is going to come up. And now you're going to just start noticing things that go at 44. And it all started yesterday when I saw 11 next to 44. Spirit, angel, and man. The space of spirit, angel, and man. So now remember what we talked about, 44? 44, 88, 132. When you go Trinity in 44, you end up with 132. Now you reverse 123 in the Olympics. In the Olympics, it's reversed.